everyone. I hope you're doing well. So I had to reconfigure everything for tonight's live because I think it's my webcam that I use when I do the lives that is acting up, and it was just flashing. I think I've mentioned it a couple times. I thought it was the connection. Today I could not get it to be fixed, so I am using my laptop, which is fine. Um, so can we do a quick, can you hear me? Can you see me? Little test so that I know that everything's working properly before we get into the Q&A. And then I'll say hi to some people. So let me know if you can hear me and if you can see me. And I'll be able to tell if you're on YouTube or Facebook. Right now I see a bunch of people from YouTube that are in the chat. And hopefully we'll see some people come in from Facebook pretty soon. All right, I'm going to wait a minute. There's my dog. Let's see. Okay. Hey, George. Okay, I got George from Scotland saying looks and sounds okay here. All right, great, perfect. So if he can hear me in Scotland and see me in Scotland, I think people in the U.S. can, and probably everywhere else. So I think we're good. All right. So let's go back in. Say hi to people. Hi, Margot. How are you? And hi, Larry and Melba. Craig, how are you? Hi, Barbara. Hi, George. John's not going to be here today. He's got a meeting. So just so you know, everything's fine. He's just, he has a meeting he has to go to. Hi, Leanne. How are you? Hi, Michelle. Lots of people here. Hi, Jolene. Hi, Roberta. Hi, Christy. Oh, perfect. So Christy says she can hear and see. Perfect. Perfect. Wonderful. So everything's working okay. Hey, Steve. How are you? Jolene, did I say hi already? If not, hi. I think I did, but I'm not sure. Hi, Barbara. How are you? So how is everyone doing tonight? Hey, Cindy. Hey, Jen. Hi, Heidi. All right. So I hope there's not too much of a delay. We've been having that problem with Tasty Tuesday. So every time we think we have something figured out and like it's going perfectly, a software will change the way they do something. We have to reconfigure things. It gets a little crazy. I think last Tuesday we forgot to plug in the computer until late, and so it wasn't fully charged, and that created a little bit of a delay. So there's always like something that goes wrong, right? Nothing goes perfectly, it seems. Hey, Deb, how are you? Hi, Roberta. Oh, Jolene made the Italian bread. That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you have the combi, Jolene? I didn't think you did. Not that you need to, because you can do it in the oven, but just curious. And speaking of appliances, so I am like inundated with people joining the Ninja Foodie Possible Pro Cooker group, which is the appliance that looks like a crock pot, basically. Okay, it doesn't have a top heating element. It's not an oven. It's not a grill. It's not a pressure cooker. It doesn't look like the Speedy. It's kind of its own thing. It looks like a crock pot or a slow cooker, but it does a bunch of other things. And I've been having like 300 people or more a day joining that group. I'm like, man, this must be like a hot ticket item or something right now. Let me look into it. And I've had mine for a long time, and I mean, I've always viewed it as a slow cooker, right? So I just kind of thought, well, I can make slow cooker stuff in it, right? And then I start, well, let's see. People were having questions about the bake function, which I thought, this is ridiculous. I don't even know why Ninja did this. Why they put a bake function without an upper heating element? How's that going to work? Blah 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 blah. So I started testing things out in it and doing some recipes in it. And I'm not sure whether the recipes were actually going to be posted on my website or whether they would even work or whatever, but things pretty amazing. I'm like, okay, I get it now. So, I mean, I even made these buns that it was a fun experiment. So I'm just going to tell you guys about it because I think you'll appreciate it. I am doing pumpkin bread pudding in it, which is so delicious and so easy. I mean, it really takes no time at all. You don't even have to soak the bread ahead of time or anything. It's just super easy. You don't even have to dry the bread because you can toast it right in this appliance. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so I was testing that and I had made some brioche and I also bought store bought because I always test things out if with my homemade stuff. And then I also test them out with store bought because most people are going to buy the brioche bread from the store. So I want to make sure it works right both ways. So I had some extra homemade dough because it's about a pound and an ounce or a pound and 2 ounces that you get in an average loaf from the grocery store. So I had a little left over and I thought, well, I'm waiting for that to proof because I did proof that extra one. I proofed the main thing in the Foodie Possible Pro cooker because you can proof in here too. But then I had some extra in the combi. So when I took the other one out and finished all that, I thought, once I got this extra little bit of dough, what am I going to do with it? So I said, well, let me stuff it with chocolate. I know, weird, right? Like something weird happened. It's like, okay, let me break this up into 4 pieces. Let me stuff some chocolate in there, which were just squares of a chocolate bar from another recipe I'm testing. And let me wrap it around like a little bun thing, right? Let me put it in a muffin tin. Let me put it in this Possible Pro cooker and let me just bake it like I would in the oven. Let me just bake it. I know it's not going to get brown on top, but this kind of a thing with chocolate inside, you don't really want a hard, crusty exterior, right? You want it to be a little bit more soft and fluffy. So I put it in there on a rack in the muffin tin. It's a 4-well muffin tin. Put the lid on. Like think of a crock pot. If you don't know what I'm talking about, think of a crock pot looking thing. Put the lid on. Hit the bake function. Went up to 400 degrees. I forget what time I set, which is why I test recipes so often because I forget everything all the time and I don't write it down, thinking I'm going to remember. I don't remember the time. I think it was 25 minutes, but I'm not sure. But before I hit start, I brushed it with milk and I put Demerara, and I don't even know what I'm saying, right? But large sugar crystals that are kind of tan in color. So I thought if that kind of sort of melts in, it'll give a texture because it won't melt completely, but it also give like a little bit of a browning color. Okay, and that worked. I took them out, and then I put some. I had some caramel sauce from another recipe that I'm testing. Well, actually, we videoed that one. That was coming out soon. I put the caramel sauce on top, thinking it would, kind of drizzle over while they were hot, and it did. But it sort of coated the whole top. So I was like, okay. I mean, I would switch some things around. These aren't quite ready for prime time. They're not absolutely beautiful or anything. In fact, I'll go grab one. But I bit into one. I was like, oh my gosh, this tastes like a French pastry kind of thing with the brioche dough, which is an enriched dough. And I mean, don't think buttery and soft and things like that. That's not exactly what it is, but it is a lighter dough. It was delicious. The chocolate was, of course, melted. It was so good. I was like, well, I guess you can bake in this thing. You're not going to get a crusty loaf of bread, but for what I was using it for, it was really, really good. So I'm kind of excited about that. Anyway, I go on and on at the mouth. So um, why don't you guys ask me some questions now, and hopefully I can help and answer them. All right, George says no delay. That's great. Um, okay, Crystal says something's going on in with the audio. I will wait and see if Crystal, if anyone else is having that experience. I can pull the microphone a little bit closer to me. I don't knock over everything else. Okay, maybe if I point it at me. This is not my arena. This is Jeff's arena where he does all of that stuff. I just kind of muddle through it. I'm the cook in the kitchen, not the tech person. Okay, let's see. Hey, Joni, how are you? Hey, Spencer. So Spencer says, I want one so bad. If you have a Costco or a Sam's Club near you and you want to look at the Possible Pro Cooker, they have them for, I think, $89. That is like a great deal. And the one at Sam's, I don't know about Costco because I don't have one, but they have a rack that comes with it, which that's another funny story. I didn't really need two of them, right? I only need one, but I needed a rack. And the racks were like, I don't know how much. Let's just say they're $20, $25. But by the time I did shipping, if I got the one that comes direct from Ninja, by the time I did the shipping, I was like, this is $30, right? Then I saw it at Sam's for $89, and I'm like, well, it's $89, and I get the rack and another, Possible cooker. So I'm like, okay, I'll do that. So So I have 3 because I bought 2 from Sam's because I thought, well, I'm going to be doing recipes in this. I'm going to need more than one. And so, because that's what I do. I have more than one appliance, like pretty much anything that I do recipes in, because otherwise the time it takes is just too long. Like when I do experiments and things, I want to see how something cooks 2 different ways. If I can't do them at the same time, like we're talking days of work instead of hours of work. So I'm not really indulged, and it really is practical. It helps me speed up the process. Hi, Erin. How are you? Joni, I am feeling better. Well, actually, kind of feeling better. So last Tuesday, I was sick as a dog. I told Jeff when we were away the weekend, I wasn't feeling good, right? I just wasn't feeling good. There was just something off, but not feeling bad like I felt like sick. Just, I don't know. It was weird. Like not coughing, nothing, no symptoms really, just exhaustion. And I think he thought, you're just tired or whatever, which maybe I was. But on Tuesday night or Tuesday, I really felt terrible last Tuesday. And then I took a nap, got up, did Tasty Tuesday, but almost like towards the end of it, I was like, I am really feeling terrible. Like I could barely stand up. Like I felt horrible. I think it was the flu, really. Jeff made me stay in bed all day on Wednesday, which is, oh my God, so hard for me. I was so bored. I didn't, I was just terrible, right? I hate doing that because I like working, but it was what I needed. So I felt fine. And then today I didn't feel so good this afternoon, but I've been pushing myself really hard the past 3 days, like just from that Wednesday of rest, if you will. I was so behind. So I've been pushing myself a little too hard. So, but I do feel better, much better than last week. This is nothing like last week. Last week it was horrible. This week I'm just a little tired. Um, but it's fourth quarter. If you don't know what fourth quarter is, it's the holiday season for food bloggers. I have like tons of recipes. I want to put out 3 a week. Can't even, I'm barely putting out 1 a week because of all the stuff that goes into it. Filming the video, writing up the post that's 100 pages long, it seems. Just all of it. There's just so much to it. So anyway, enough of me. Hey, Laddie, how are you? Hi, Erin. Hi, Lorraine. Um, Jolene, that's kind of what it reminds me of. So she's asking about the chocolate cup filled croissant. Yes. But it's because it's a brioche, it's not a croissant. So it's not like those layers. So it's not as collapsy, right? And of course, the chocolate hardens once it cools. Let me go grab one. I've got one here. I'll show you. I'll open it up too. Let's stay on now. What in the world? They're gone. They're gone. They're not on my cooling rack anymore. I don't know where they went. Gus, did you go and get one? Oh my gosh, they're gone. Oh, anyway, sorry, I can't show you. But they're not a croissant. They're a brioche. It's a little different. But they were good, and they did remind me of a chocolate-filled croissant. Okay, good question, Adam. I don't like interacting in the public groups either, Adam, and I'm thinking about switching it. So, Adam has a really good question. Why is my wood fire group public, but your other groups are private? I don't like interacting in public groups. Well, first of all, I might upset some people, but I really don't like the wood fire group that I have. There are some people in there, and it's like whack-a-mole. I'm getting them out, getting them out. There's more coming. Oh, they know everything about everything, and they're nasty to people. It's unbelievable. I really, that's the only group I do not like. So I've been thinking, how do I fix it? Because that's the thing. It's my fault. If I don't like the way a group's running and it's my group, it's my fault. I'm obviously not leading by example in that group very well. So, but to answer your question specifically, I did an experiment, right? Okay, so there's two kinds of groups. Well, there's three, but the two that are most popular are either public groups or private groups on Facebook. When you set up your group, you pick one. You can always go from public to private, but you can't go from private to public after you have a certain number of members. So, and then there's some rules about what you can post in public versus private groups from Amazon. Okay, I'm just talking about Amazon only. So, and I can't post affiliate links in private groups from Amazon. And people ask me a lot what I'm cooking with, as far as if I have some kind of an accessory and things like that. And it makes it very difficult because I can't link directly to the product with an affiliate link. Now I can link to it otherwise, other places, other with other types of links, but not with an affiliate link, which means I earn a commission, which is like nothing, but it helps, right? It helps keep me doing this full time. So I wanted to do an experiment with doing a public group. And the second reason is because they give more exposure. Like Facebook seems to show it to more people. The groups grow faster, things like that. So I did an experiment. I did 3 public groups. And it's the 2 wood fires. So it's the wood fire grill, the wood fire oven, and then a recipe sharing group that I have. The other thing is, in a public group, you can share outside of the group. So you can take, like, if there's a recipe post that you like, you can, you can share it, and that helps with exposure. So I was just doing an experiment, but I also find that they bring in some riffraff that I don't want. So I've been really thinking about switching it over to private. And I don't post affiliate links very much. Very seldom do I do it. So that is not reason enough for me to be able to keep it public. So I've been thinking about it. I'm trying to clean it up a little bit, but right now that's my big focus, is trying to clean it up and get all the bullies out of there, because there are plenty of bullies. And I don't really know if it's the grilling community, which I would hate to think that it would be. And I don't mean the ninja grilling community, but if it's widespread. But there's just some sarcastic asses in there that I'm not dealing with you, right? I'm just not. You're not going to insult other people in the group. It's ridiculous. So anyway, that is the reason why it's public. It was an experiment. I don't like it very much, so I'm thinking about switching it back. So I guess you'll be happy if I do, Adam, right? And if you have any ideas, if you're in that group, which I don't know for sure if you are. I do know you're in some of my groups, but if you're in that group, you have any ideas on how to, like, clean the house, I am all ears, because yesterday I was so upset with that group as a whole, right? I mean, it's probably 10 people in the group. But I get rid of them and then 10 more, just like them, come back in. I was so upset with it, I almost archived it yesterday. I was like, I can't even with these people. I mean, they're just nasty. Maybe they don't mean it. Maybe they think they're funny, but they're not funny, and they're insulting. And I could go on and on. I just can't stand it. Okay. Hi, Lorraine. How are you? After my rant. Hi. Hey, Barbara. How are you? Hey, Larry. Okay. So let's see. Larry made the Italian bread. Turned out perfect. I actually baked it in my bread machine. I was surprised no sugar was needed for the yeast. Okay. So let me explain that. You don't need sugar for yeast, but it does help. Sometimes it will help it it's food for the yeast, basically. But you don't absolutely need it when you're making bread. In fact, when you're making a French bread, you don't use any sugar. French bread is strictly, like, by definition, not by definition, but I mean, you can't call it French bread if you have sugar in it. You just can't, technically, okay? You can call it whatever you want because it's at home and do whatever you want. But, like, for me, like, I could never have a French bread recipe that had milk in it or eggs in it or anything other than flour, salt, water, yeast. 4 ingredients in French bread, period, end of story. So you don't need sugar for your yeast. Is the point. Okay, so Leanne's saying the audio is different. Let me see what audio I have. Going. I think I have, yeah, I've got the same mic. I'm using the same mic here. but it's probably I'm sitting different to it. Like it's closer, further away. Leanne, maybe. Okay. I am like 10 minutes behind in the chat, which is normal for me. Hi, Allison. How are you? Just so you guys know, if you're like saying, why is she still talking about that? Or why hasn't she gotten to my question? It's because I'm always behind because I talk too much. As people tell me on YouTube all the time, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. Yep, I do. Um, all right, let's see. Hey, Robin, how are you? Okay, so George used the ThermoPro for the first time last night and loved it. Double checked the internal temp with my usual external probe and it was spot on. Also very interesting to see the food ambient temp. I don't have Thermo Pro, George, so I'm not really sure. I know a lot of people do use them, but I'm not really sure what it sounds like it's a probe um, thermometer that also gives the temperature inside of whatever appliance you're cooking in. So that's pretty cool. I use ThermoWorks. That's just always been they've always been my go-to, and I love their products. So that's what I use. I think a long time ago I did have a Thermo Pro. Hey, Colleen, how are you? That's awesome. I have some stuff I'm going to put in the freeze dryer today. Um, all right, I'm glad you're liking the electric pressure canner. I'm going to look that up. I saw that in your email, and I thought I got to look that up and see what that is. I'm not a pressure canner. I'm not really a canner at all, to be honest with you, because um, I don't like I can't do recipes for canning. I can't give instructions on canning because I don't can't like for personal recipes of my own because I can't test the pH level. I mean, I guess I can get the apparatus and all this stuff, but I'm scared to death that I would like mislead somebody and all of a sudden they have botulism. Like, no, I don't want to do that. Um, all right, let's just keep scrolling down. Hey, Rachel. Okay, question. Good. I have a recipe for lemon cheesecake that I want to cut in half and bake in the foodie. Can you give me some advice? I was going to cut the temperature by 25 degrees, but need help determining when it's cooked. Okay, so this is the thing with a lemon cheesecake, any cheesecake, most desserts that are in a cake form or anything like that. The timing is based on the depth and, of course, the container that it's in to a certain degree and the appliance that you're using to a certain degree. But honestly, it's the depth. Now, if you cut a recipe for lemon cheesecake in half and you put it in the same size container as the original recipe called for, which I'm not saying you're going to do, because you're probably doing it in a smaller container because you're putting it in the foodie. Of course, I don't know which foodie you're using. We should probably clear that up right now. Which Ninja foodie are you talking about? But let's just assume it's the Ninja Foodie pressure cooker and air crisper. So if you have a recipe for a 9-inch cheesecake and you're going to use a 7-inch pan in the foodie, you could cut it in half, but you're going to be just a little bit shorter of a cheesecake. Probably not an issue. All right. Then what I would do is look up a cheesecake recipe that's similar, that's done in a pressure cooker, and look for the timing on that. Okay. Because that's going to give you the basic idea. I don't know if you're baking. You say bake, but I don't know if you're really baking or you're pressure cooking. So I guess I need a little bit more information of what food you're using and cutting the temperature probably by 25 or 50 degrees even would be a good idea if you're not pressure cooking. Sounds like you're not. So I think I'm answering this question incorrectly. So let's stop here. Let's answer your question based on what you're using. So what Ninja Foodie are you using? And I'm assuming here you're going to use the bake function of whichever appliance. So I will wait for you to answer and then I'll finish that thought. Okay, so Diana, this is a really good question. Is the Ninja Everyday Possible Cooker just a smaller version of the Possible Pro Cooker? I don't have it, so I don't know for sure. I do know that there's rice functions on the Possible Everyday Possible Cooker. Let me get these names straight, right? So I don't confuse you anymore. So there's a white rice, a brown rice function. I think there's slow cook on the Everyday Possible Cooker. I'm not sure what else, and it is smaller. So I think it's the principles are the same, but like I don't know if there's the bake function and the bake function on the Possible Cooker Pro, you actually set the temperature. So you can, I think, go down as low as I'm going to say 250, maybe even a little bit lower on the bake function. I don't know if the Everyday Possible Cooker has the bake function. So I really can't answer that fully, but I do know that there's presets on the Everyday Possible Cooker that are not on the Possible Cooker Pro. However, that being said, I don't know how well they work either. So I don't have it. So can't really be too much help there. If anyone else in the chat has the Everyday Possible Cooker, and you can give Diana some information, I'd appreciate that. Thanks. Hi, A. How are you? Um, George says waiting for it. George ate them. I don't know if the dogs ate those buns or not. I'm really sure. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Um, all right. Lorraine wants to know, can I use your Amazon links in Canada? I have a Canadian Amazon store, but I don't keep up with it too much. I kind of forget about it. So you can use links from there, or if you travel through my store, even if you just look at my, like go in and look at the store and then you purchase something, it will credit me. I don't know what happens to it. I think I got some money from it one time, and I think I sent it to a friend of mine who lived in Canada because it was a gift card, which I couldn't use. But so don't worry about it, really. But I think they've changed some things around now, and it actually comes into my account. But again, don't worry too much about it. But I can put the Canadian Amazon is amazon.com/shop/the salted pepper. So it's the same as the American one. It's just you're going to use amazon.ca. That's what it is, I think. I think it is amazon.ca. You're welcome, Adam. No problem. Um, so Adam says there's meanies in the Pitfalls group I'm into. It must be the grilling community. It must be. Maybe they think they're funny or something. I don't know. I just think they're a bunch of bullies. But my husband, because I was telling him, I was like, I can't stand this group. Like, people want help, but they're not getting help. They're getting sarcastic answers. I try to help them with factual information. I get slammed down like I'm an idiot. And I'm thinking, okay, like I don't answer you unless I've actually have made it, done it, or have some experience with it. Like I don't just make shit up, right? Because I want to hear myself talk or answer a question or sound smart. Like I've literally done it on the wood fire, and they're telling me I'm wrong. I'm like, okay. I also owned a barbecue restaurant, right? So like I have a little bit of knowledge about this, but yeah, they're nasty to me. It's horrible. I just think about it. I can't stand it. So yeah, my husband, I was telling him how much I hated it, and he says, yeah, he was in a Blackstone group, right? And he says they're nasty in there. So maybe you're right, and that's sad. If it's the grilling smoking community, that's sad. But you know what? They can take that and go somewhere else with it because I cannot deal with it. I just cannot deal with it. That is just not my personality. In fact, like I could get a little bit ignorant in that group, but I just kick them out. I just kick them out. And then I want to be careful because I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, you know. But yeah, I'm just like out, 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 out. See you later. Oh yeah, Colleen says I can always share your webpage. I can actually share the shop in a private group, but it's another barrier for people. Like people are busy, and I understand that. And when they want to link to something, and a lot of people will ask me for my affiliate link because it's a way that they can support me without it doesn't cost them any money at all, right? They're going to buy it anyway. So they're like, oh yeah, I want to use your link. I want to support you. So I thought it would be easier to just be able to post the link. But now Amazon allows us to email links and to private message links from Amazon. That's new just this year. So really, the private groups versus public groups is probably a non-issue. Okay, Aaron is saying, I think it is, George, I think I might know what it is. I think it's just a smaller version, Aaron says. So that's about the cost of the Pro. George, the background noise, I think it might be my fan on my computer. So I am working on a laptop. It's a MacBook Pro. It is a dinosaur. It is a hand-me-down from Jeff. Jeff gets all the new stuff because he does all the editing. So he really taxes his computers. Like he uses a lot of memory. needs the best, and the newest and all the stuff. And I always get the trickle down. This one's old. So I told him the other day, I said, okay, I'm going to, for this place here, this work spot that I'm in, I think I'm going to get a regular Macintosh desktop computer because it just is going to function better, I think, for me. I don't need a laptop here. There's no reason for it. I don't take it anywhere. I have a travel laptop, smaller. Okay, I think that's what that background is, George. All right, let's see. Oh, Crystal. Yeah, absolutely. So, Crystal wants to know how I folded the wrappers when I made the buffalo chicken dip wontons. And Crystal is blind, so she can't really see the video. So I'm going to walk you through that right now, Crystal, real quick, because it's pretty darn easy. You're going to start off with a square wrapper. I went 4x4 because it gives a little bit more filling to wonton ratio, and I just thought it was better. So I bought egg roll wrappers and cut them 4 inches by 4 inches. So you start off with, but if you have regular square wonton wrappers that are 3 inches by 3 inches or 3.5, that'll work fine. Use about 1 teaspoon. If they're smaller wrappers, you can use up to 2 teaspoons for the 4x4 wrappers. So you're going to put it down on a flat surface, or a cooling rack is even better, so the water kind of drips down when you wet it. Put the little dot of filling right in the middle of the wrapper, and then take the top edge and fold it like you would be folding a piece of paper in half. Whoops, let me back up. Once you put that little dot in the center of the filling, take your finger, dip it in water, and brush it across the top edge and the bottom edge. Then fold it like you're folding a piece of paper in half, and press all around the filling to the edges to kind of start to seal it. Okay, so I'm doing visuals, but seal it completely so that it's almost like a ravioli. So you've got just a puff in the middle and everything else is flat. Then take the top edge that you sealed that's open. It's sealed now, but it would have been open. So it's not the edge that it's not the folded edge. It's the two top and bottom edges. I hope I'm making sense. I'm probably messing this up even worse. And you fold that over just about 1/4 of an inch, like you would be folding the top of an envelope over. Okay. So it makes like a double layer there at the very top. And then you pull the two, right side and left side, around to the back, and you seal the little edges in the back. This is hard to explain this verbally. But why don't you send me an email, and I'm going to ask Jeff some way for me to be able to explain it better, and I can send you that recording. Okay? Because it is hard to explain um, without the visuals. It really is. But I'm going to do my best. Okay. Wendy says canning is a whole different alphabet. It sure is. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, Marjorie says her 500 ml jars won't fit in the foodie. Yeah, you can't. You've got to have the smaller jars. Like I do the 4-ounce ones, and I think the 4-ounce ones and the little 8-ounce jelly jars work, but that's about it. Leanne wants to know what the electric pressure canner is. It's not Ninja. Maybe if Colleen's still in the chat, she can put the brand name. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it is an electric pressure canner that she's been using. So I don't remember the brand. Hey, Marjorie. Yes, okay. Marjorie said, I forgot to say hi. Okay, good. Colleen did answer. Okay, Nesco is the brand that she's using. Wendy says, I have problems cooking rice. Rice isn't that easy to cook, to be honest. I mean, people that nail it, they've been doing it. They know exactly how the pot works, or stove works, or however they're making it. They know the ratios. Once you get it down, it's pretty easy. But it varies based on type of rice, how you're cooking it. You're pressure cooking, or you're steaming it, or you're boiling it. So, I mean, it can be a little challenging, to be honest with you. I'm finding that steaming works really well. And I will say that of all the appliances that I have and all the ways that I've made rice, the Ninja Foodi Possible Pro Cooker, but that's a mouthful, isn't it? Um, made the best basmati rice anyway. I haven't tested a whole bunch in it, but it made the best basmati rice. I mean, it just was perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right, let's see. Bye, Colleen. Um, oh my gosh. Erin says she had zucchini bread that she was looking for, and her dog had half of it hanging out of his mouth. That's hysterical. I literally have no idea. I know Jeff wouldn't have taken them. First of all, they're stale now. I made them a couple days ago. They've been sitting out. These are the muffins that we were talking about earlier. The chocolate stuffed muffins. I don't even know what to call them, honestly. They're bread, really, but it's just was a weird concoction that I made up. Um, yeah, Jeff wouldn't have taken them. And if he does, maybe I threw them away and forgot. Because I know today I was like, these are definitely like stale, like nobody's going to eat them. So maybe I just threw them away and I forgot. That happens too. I was cleaning up the kitchen. Um, Leanne says, you're better than me. I would archive that group in a heartbeat. Yeah, I know. It's, oh my gosh, they're just, oh, I hope nobody takes offense if you're in that group. You're probably not the problem. Because if you were, I think I would have kicked you out already. But just so nightmare right now. Okay. So, Penny, I really want to know how you can tell if sour cream is going bad. If it's past date, I get that. But sometimes I pulled it out of the fridge and I haven't used it in a while and it looks kind of fun. Okay. So, sour cream, when it's bad, grows mold. Okay. It turns like, I think it's like a reddish mold that it grows. Now, if it's unsealed, so if you haven't opened it yet and it's even past the date, it's not necessarily bad. Okay. But as soon as you open it, you're exposing it to air, and that is when things start to happen. So once you open it, usually I would say use it up within a week, right? Or freeze it, which I don't freeze for sour cream, but I think you can use it up. Um, yeah. So I mean, it's hard because it's already kind of smells a little sour, but I think you could tell. I know it gets a little runny on top. That does not necessarily mean that it's bad, but if it looks funny, I would just throw it out. But definitely, it will start to grow red mold stuff. It's not even moldy. I don't know what it is. It's not fuzzy, but it's mold probably. It's gross. You'll know that immediately. Throw that away for sure. Oh, and another thing, just because your sour cream looks fine in the container, look at the lid. I've had that happen before, where I'm like going to, scoop it out. It looks absolutely fine. I mean, I don't smell anything off or anything like that. And then I look over at the lid and it's like red, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's not good. All right. George says Facebook dark side, YouTube, welcome to the light side. No. People on YouTube are rude as hell too. In comments that I get, you would not believe how nasty people are on YouTube. The difference is they're only being nasty to me. I can handle that, right? I can handle myself. What I can't handle is the people on Facebook being nasty to other people. That be nasty to me because I can put you right in your place. I got no problems, right? No problems. I can stick up for myself, no problems. But when somebody is asking a question, whether somebody else might think it's a dumb question, no question is a dumb question because if you don't know the answer, you should be able to get the answer in a kind and helpful way. Period. End of discussion. So I just can't tolerate other people being rude to other people. Be rude to me all you want because I'll just tell you off. I have no issues with that. But it just drives me crazy. Okay. I mean, I really get worked up about this group. Like today, I'll give you an example. Today, I admit people to groups. It takes me a long time too because I go through them pretty carefully. Because every time I say accept, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, is this a scammer? Is this somebody who's going to, make life miserable for other people? Like it's quite a responsibility honestly, that I take pretty serious. And I mess it up. Obviously, I let people in when I shouldn't, but I do try very hard. So I go through every single request in every single group, and I have way too many of them right now. Um, and every time I get to that group, like I got to the possible pro cooker group, and I had like 399 requests, and I was fine with that. I was like, okay, let's do it. I get over to the wood fire grill group, not the oven group so much, but the wood fire grill group, and I had like, I don't know, 67. I'm like, I gotta go through 60 people. So, half of them I'm not even gonna let in. The other half, probably 25% of those are gonna be jerks. Oh, it's just draining. It's just draining, and you never know. You never know who's gonna be a jerk and who's not. Really, you just never know. Um, all right, let's see. Um, let's go down. Um, oh yeah, Wendy, I didn't even think about those squeeze pouches. They kind of seal a little bit better, I guess, and they don't let as much air in. Air is the enemy with those kind of things. Definitely when you're talking about sour cream. That's a good idea. Um, Hi Dawn, how are you? You know what I did with sour cream? I haven't reconstituted it yet, but I had a bunch of sour cream and I needed to use it or basically toss it, and I decided to freeze dry it. So I don't know. We'll see how it reconstitutes. Um, okay, so this is great. Crystal says sour cream going bad happened to me a couple of weeks ago, and I could tell by the smell and then by the touch that the stuff was off. So, Crystal, can you explain what it felt like? That's interesting to me. Um, Maybe I've never smelled sour cream that's gone bad, like really bad. But maybe if you get your nose down into it, you can, because I can see that, I can see it. So that's interesting coming from somebody who really can't see it. So I'm interested in that for sure. Um, okay, so reddish mold. It's really just a different kind of strain um, of mold, bacteria, whatever you want to call it. I can't remember now. My microbiology classes are so far in the past, I forget. But microbiology is one of my favorite classes in nursing school. But I don't use it too much anymore, so I don't really remember. But yeah, so I don't even know if it's technically mold. It could just be bacteria. So, but the orange kind is gross too. So it's all gross. Orange, red, green, whatever. But yeah, we're used to green, but they're just different varieties, different strains, right? Um, uh, there's a term for that, Wendy's saying. Um, a term for what? I'm not really sure, but I don't know. See, this is hard because I'm so far behind in the chat. I'm catching up though. I'm catching up. um, okay, so Wendy is so she's an expiration date person. So if it has expired, she tosses it. I am not exactly that good about doing those things. I go by smell and sight quite a bit. Like if half and half and stuff is not open, or it's half and half, for example, because that has a long shelf life, refrigerated shelf life. But yeah, I'm not so great about that. I think Jeff, he would probably like not be happy if he knew some of the things that I said. Honestly, I think he'd be like, "What? That expired when?" Yeah. So live, we're live, but either way is fine. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Oh my goodness. All right, for sour cream, Maria's got an answer here. For sour cream, how it changes with time could depend on its origin, whether it's from natural cows on grass made from full milk or industrial production. It's a good point there. With separated milk, etc., makes a big difference. Very good point, Maria. All right, Crystal's chimed in with it felt clumpy and sliding. It was gross. Okay, ask me any question though. I don't mind for real. That's awesome, Crystal. I appreciate you. So clumpy. That's good. So not smooth, clumpy. That was probably really bad if it was already cooking. Oh gosh. Um, I will not serve. Oh, George, you have such a memory. I did not serve it to my nephew. I tasted it. So he is talking about a time when I was live with my nephew. We were making something. I don't even remember what sauce what food we were making. We were making something, and we needed. I guess it was half and half or heavy cream or something like that. Heavy cream lasts a really long time, especially unopened. But this was opened. But the expiration date was a while ago. This was in my sister's house. This was not my house. But I smelled it and I was like, it smells okay. It smells like it's gonna work. We're gonna be okay, you know. Um, and then we got into the video a little bit, and I tasted it. I almost vomited right there. Or I don't even know if did I all the way taste it, George? I think I did. I almost vomited. It was so rotten. I was like, we're not using that. Oh my God, yeah. But I didn't actually serve it to him, right? So I'll take the hit first. I'll make sure to try it first. Oh my goodness. That's so funny. Um, um, Penny, this is really nice of you. So Penny says, thank you so much to everyone about my problem with sour cream. You all are great. And I think so too. That's why I wanted to put Penny's comment up on uh, the the chat here so everybody can see it, because I think you guys are great too. And this is it's a Q&A with Louise, but look, I don't even answer half the questions. Half the questions are being answered by you guys in the chat all the time. This is a discussion. It is fun. It is laid back. I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the Q&As. Love them, love, love them. So I'm glad you guys are here and a part of it with me. Okay. Um, let's see here. Lorraine says she saw that video as well. So funny. Robin says, when in doubt, throw it out because food poisoning is nothing to fool around with. You're right about that. You're right about that. You're right about that. I know. I push the envelope sometimes. Okay, so Wendy says, can we talk about the cottage cheese trend? Yeah, but I don't know anything about it because I don't follow trends. I'm so not trendy. So not trendy. I want to be trendy. I want to be trendy. I want to be somebody that people, younger people want to follow. No, I'm boring. I'm old. I'm set in my ways. I'm not trendy. So I don't really know much about it, but it's like anything else. Somebody made something that went viral and now everybody's putting cottage cheese in everything and thinking that it's amazing. And I'm sure a lot of the stuff that you make with cottage cheese is amazing. It's not new. It's just being recirculated. So I don't know. How do you feel about it, Wendy? I wish I could. Maybe I could start a trend. Maybe we should start a trend together, all of us. What's our trend going to be? We'll have it go viral. We should make some of I don't know, something really easy. We'll all make it. We'll all post it different places, and then have a trend to go viral. That's kind of cool. It'd be kind of fun. Um, all right, Dawn says she saw that video too. Oh my gosh, Jolene says too. That was so funny. Oh my gosh. Um, Oh, that's right, George. That's right. So my nephew, who I believe might have been 9 or 10 at the time, he told me there's something wrong with it. It's not right. Don't use it. Don't use it. Please don't use it. So even after a kid tells me don't use it, I'm like, no, I think it's okay. It was not okay. It was not okay. I don't even know what in the world I was thinking. Yeah, Crystal says one thing you have to be careful about is heavy cream. I think that's what it was, heavy cream. And I did not smell it being bad. Like normally I can smell anything. Like I don't even hardly have to open up a package of meat before I know it's off. It's wrong. I'm not doing it. I'm not using it. I have a pretty sensitive nose, but this I did not smell it. So anyway, so I tasted it. I didn't die, but oh, I didn't get food poisoning from it either. I don't remember if I spit it out. I'm pretty sure I did though. But, I mean, that was live. the things that happen on live, right? Barb says, I love my foodie for cooking rice. It turns out every time. And okay, so let's talk about like this is so crazy. I think Barb's talking about her Ninja Foodie pressure cooker and air crisper, and she uses that. But I don't know because for some darn reason, Ninja Kitchen or Ninja Marketing Department decided that they would name like, I don't know, 15 different appliances Ninja Foodie. So the foodie, when you say in my foodie, means absolutely nothing to me, unfortunately. And people are finding that out now because I have recipes that are called Ninja Foodie Beef Stew, and they're trying to make it in their Ninja Foodie appliance that doesn't pressure cook. And they're probably thinking I'm a crazy person, right? But when I made the recipe, the Ninja Foodie pressure cooker and air crisper was the only appliance called the Ninja Foodie. Had I have known that they were going to create a grill, well, several grills, indoor, well, no, I'm sorry, the outdoor is a different name. The indoor grill, the indoor oven, the blender, possible cooker pro, the, God, I think there's like three more. They're all called Ninja Foodie. It's so confusing. Um, yeah, KS, the red mold in the moist bathroom is aspergillus. I don't know, but that sounds right that that might be the same thing that's in the sour cream too when it turns red. But yeah, aspergillus. I remember that now. Oh gosh, that's going back so many years. I loved microbiology. I loved it and loved finding places that you think would be really, really dirty. Like we would have to go out and do experiments. So we would go out like places I don't remember again because I'm really old and I mean this was like gosh, almost well, not quite 40 years, almost 40 years ago, 30 something. Anyway, it was a long time ago. So I forget what I did, but I thought, okay, this is going to be nasty. It's going to grow up all kinds of stuff. I mean, I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was a water fountain, I think, or something. I don't remember. And it didn't. And then something that I thought would have been clean wasn't. So yeah, microbiology is fun. Um, oh, Jolene, good idea. You should start a mixology trend because you make some good looking drinks. I like making drinks. You know, I used to do a drink class every Thursday. It was called Thirsty Thursday, and it was live. And we would do it. I would do it live, and I loved it. I would come up with different ways. Sometimes I would make drinks less sugary, so um, I forget. I mean, it's been years ago too, but that was fun. It was called Thirsty Thursday. If I had more time, I would do that again because that was a lot of fun. I did reach out to a company that does like cocktail deliveries and stuff like that because I was seeing if maybe we could do something together, like as a um, not me working for them, not nothing like that, but just like if I could get an idea of what their products were, because I thought it would just be fun, like a fun thing to do. But that didn't work out because they don't work with creators, which is fine too. You know, it's fine too. But I thought that would have been fun and good exposure for them too. But anyway, that's fine. All right, let's see. Okay, Barb's saying yes, it's the pressure cooker. I thought so, Barb, for rice. And do you do pot and pot, Barb, or do you do it right in the pot? Because I do. I like to pressure cook my rice too, but I do it pot and pot, which means for those of you that may not be familiar with that term, I put the rice and the water, you know, in a ratio of 1 to 1 normally, um, in a covered container, and then I put it on the rack, and then I put a cup of water in the pressure cooker pot, and I pressure cook that way. That's pot and pot, and it works really great. Um, Wendy says her dream is an outdoor kitchen. I would love that too. A really nice outdoor kitchen. I would love that. That would be amazing for me with a pool. I want a pool too. I'm not greedy or anything, but I would really like a pool if I didn't have to take care of it. I had a pool before. They're a lot of work. But when we go to Australia in March, which is coming up faster than ever, like, you know, it used to be a year, you know, we're going in a year. Now it's, you know, we're going in 4 months. when we go to Australia, we are staying at a place in Tasmania that has an outdoor kitchen and it looks lovely. I cannot wait. And I'm sure we'll be doing some videos from there because we're going for 5 weeks. I just can't believe it. 5 weeks. Um, oh, Maria says you have forgotten a line of coffee machines Ninja launched now in Europe. Are they called Ninja Foodie too? You know what? I think I do know that. I think, I wonder if my coffee maker's a Ninja Foodie. Anyway, you get the point. Foodie doesn't mean anything anymore because it's so diluted with all the different appliances. It doesn't define what you have. But if that's what you have, you may not know about the other ones. So you might be saying, yeah, I'm a Ninja Foodie. And I'm thinking you're talking about one appliance and somebody else will think you're talking about something else. And you're really talking about something else. So it's very confusing. It really is. Um, and I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they did that. What do I do on Sundays? Mm, as far as what, Aaron? Like, are you talking about the premieres or on YouTube, or you just asked me what I do on Sundays? I do the same thing on Sundays that I do every other day: work, 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 work. Um, but anyway, yeah, I'm not sure, Aaron, how to answer that because I'm not sure exactly what you mean. So let me know. Okay, my stomach's growling. I didn't eat dinner before this. Have you ever stopped at Sprouts if you, let's see, if you have a new, like, coffee, the Sprouts Colombian coffee is so good. Okay, so no, Crystal, I don't have Sprouts around here, hon. I'm so remote and rural. I'm lucky to have Walmart. I got Walmart and I do have Kroger. I do have um, what is that other store I shop at that I like? Aldi. I do have an Aldi here in Mississippi. In Tennessee, where I live in Tennessee, it is remote. Let me tell you, it takes me at least 30 minutes to get to the grocery store, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a whole day thing, right? It's quite interesting. Um, Lorraine, what were you looking for on YouTube? The live with my nephew, or yeah, let me know what you're looking for, and I can maybe point you in the right direction. It would be under the live streams, and it would be a long time ago. It would have been, I guess, be one of the last ones that we did together. I think I haven't seen him in a while. Um, all right, let's see. Pot and pot. Barb does her rice pot and pot. Okay. Um, yes, Larry, I do remember. Um, and you prepared it right in the pot. I do remember that. Hopefully, have you had a chance to try out the recommendations yet? Okay, let's see. Okay, so Wendy says I thought the ratio was 1 to 2. 1 to 2 when you're steaming or boiling, on average. 1 to 1 is average when you're pressure cooking. When you're pressure cooking, remember there's not the evaporation that happens when you're steaming and things like that. So the ratios go down a little bit. Now, when you're doing it directly in the pot, sometimes I'll add like 1 cup of rice to 1 1/4 cup of water, 1 and 2 tablespoons of water in the bottom of the pot because it does steam a little bit to build the pressure in the pot because the steam is what builds the pressure. Pops the little valve up and then puts the pot under pressure. So I do account for that a little bit. But when you're doing pot and pot cooking, it's a 1 to 1 ratio. And that is really good for 1, maybe 2 cups of rice. Once you get over that and you're making more volume, it gets a little bit trickier because you have issues with, especially if you're doing it in the pot, you have issues with how long did it take to come to pressure and how long is it going to take for all this rice to absorb the water, things like that. So sometimes making double batches of things is not going to produce the same quality as when you do a single batch of, like 1 cup of rice or maybe 2 cups of rice. But if you steam in the pot, which I do love doing in the Ninja Foodie pressure cooker and air crisper, if you steam in there instead of pressure cook, you can do it right in the pot. and it is 1-to-2 ratio. And I think I did 12 minutes. I'm not sure. Okay. I do a 1-to-1 ratio, 3-minute pressure cook, 10-minute Nashville release. Yes, that sounds good. I usually do a 2-minute pressure cook, but I'm usually cooking something else on the bottom at the same time, which may change my time to pressure, which is cook time because it's still heating. I mean, cooking is all about heat transfer. I mean, that's just all it is. It's about heat transfer. Unless you're doing something like ceviche, which then it is an acid, which still I think is probably generating some heat and then cooking food. But for most of the purposes that we use it, all about heat transfer, all about it. That's all there is to it. Um, and heat transfers differently in moist cooking environments versus dry cooking environments. It transfers differently if you have dark pans versus light pans, silicone, glass. All these things transfer heat differently. So there's a minuscule, usually it doesn't make a big difference, differences in things like that. So usually, though, it doesn't make that big of a difference, like the color of the pan. You know, maybe if you're baking cookies, it might shave off 30 seconds of time, right? If you're using a dark pan, but it doesn't usually make that much difference. But sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. All right. George says, pot and pot pressure cooking. Never done that before, but do you need to add water into the pot as well as the pot with rice? Yep, you do. You absolutely do, because the steam, just like I just said, which again, I'm delayed in answering. So I kind of answered your question before I even saw it. But yes, the way pressure cooking works is the liquid in the bottom of the pot, whatever that looks like, whether it's water, because you're doing pot and pot, you don't really need to do anything fancy with the liquid. Or let's say you're making, I'm trying to think of something off the top of my head real quick. What do you put in the bottom of the pot? It sits in the bottom of the pot. Let's say we're making mashed potatoes in the pot. And you put in chicken broth. That's your liquid. That liquid boils. The boiling produces steam. The steam rises in the pot. The steam wants to escape the pot, okay? It will push up until there's enough pressure in the pot that you push up that pin. Then your pot's sealed. Then you don't have any more evaporation until the end of the cooking process. And I could go in, I can talk about this all day, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to bore you guys. Anyway, so you cannot do pot and pot cooking without some sort of liquid in the bottom, because you have to have something to build that steam. Okay, that's the bottom line. I talked one time about a group thing on Sundays. I think I did that for a while. So for a while, we had something after the premiere, and we kind of just chit chatted. It was called Coffee Talk. But I used a different platform then. It was called Circle, and I was paying for it, and I wasn't utilizing it the way it needed to be utilized. And it was costing money every month, and they were going up on their rates, so I just canceled that. So I haven't done anything with that yet. Again, I try to think of things that I can do, and I'm kind of busy. I hate to say that because I towards the end of this, which we're almost going to be done here, but I'm going to get through the whole chat. But like I was thinking today, there are so many things that I love about my job, and there are so many things that I don't love. And what I love to do, I can't do as much of because I'm so busy doing the things I do not love. I do not love. I do not love Facebook. In fact, I cannot stand Facebook, but I'm on it almost all day long because it's the place that I get to talk to you guys. It's the place where I can answer questions, where I get feedback from you. I ask you questions. It is, it's my happy place when it's a happy place. Okay. So when it's a nice group, I love it. When it's a bad group, I just want to pull my hair out. But yeah, I always think of things that I can maybe do in the future, but it's hard. I have a lot to do. I do so much. It's probably a lot more to this job than most people think. I mean, it's pretty intense, right? It's pretty intense. I work pretty much from the minute my feet hit the floor until I go to bed. So that's probably from 6 a.m. every single day. Sometimes I'll sleep in a little bit, but usually 6 a.m. every single day until 9 or 10 every single night. And that's probably why I do that, and then I just collapse with exhaustion. I don't know how to self moderate my time very well. My poor husband. Um, anyway, oh, you were looking for Thirsty Thursday. Only did it on Facebook, Lorraine, and I did it in Simply Cooking with Louise. It was that Facebook group, which is still active today. So they would be probably archived somewhere there. Yeah. It was fun, though. It was in my old house in Maryland. It was fun. I liked it. Um, Hi, Monica. How are you? From Wisconsin. Just a quick thanks for inspiring me not only to cook, but cook fresh and healthier than I ever did. Oh my gosh, I'll tell you, those kind of things are exactly why I do push myself so hard all the time. I want to be better for you guys. Do better, do more. So thank you for that. Because sometimes I feel like I mean I know people appreciate me. I don't I know that for a fact. But sometimes I feel like it's exhausting. The jerks make it exhausting. Um, yes, KS, he is my nephew Dylan is a doll. I just absolutely adore him. Absolutely. Um, okay, George says, glad I asked that question. If I had tried it, I probably had a water nose. Yeah, you definitely would have had it. You wouldn't have destroyed the pot, most likely. But it would have never come to pressure. It would have given you the water nose, for sure. But it would have taken a little time. It would have heated that pot up quite a bit. Um, okay. Wendy says, never bored on a sponge for knowledge I don't know. Me too. I love to learn. I really do. I love to learn. So, Louise, how about an assistant less the load? I'm difficult, believe it or not. I'm very difficult. Um, I need one. I know I do. And I've tried out some people. It's just hard. There's so much to this that people don't understand. And there's no way you can get them up to speed unless it's something that they do, right? And I probably need to just find somebody who actually has done this before and knows what they're doing. But how much can they help me? They can help with some of the basic tasks. But basically, if I'm not in the Facebook groups, I don't know what's going on, then I'm out of touch. So I need to stay there. They can't develop the recipes for me because those are mine. I do have a friend who tests my recipes, and she's been extremely helpful. Her name is Amber, and she's been extremely helpful this week because she's tested 3 of my recipes very quickly, which, she's busy. She works full time. She did a vanilla cream sauce, a caramel sauce, and she did the pumpkin bread pudding for me. And that allowed me to work through the kinks and the issues much quicker. So, if anybody wants to be, a recipe tester or something, like, let me know, because that is helpful. But there's certain things you really have to do. Like, you really have to follow the recipe. You really have to measure. You really you can't change too many things. Like, she added pecans to the bread pudding. She asked me, "Can I add pecans?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's great. That'll give me a variation. Let me know how it is." Right? I don't really like nuts in my dessert, so in the video I can talk about that. Yeah, you can add a quarter or 1 1/4 cups of pecans, and this is how you add them. Add them to the wet mixture before you pour it over your pudding. I mean, over your bread. So yeah, so recipe testing she helps with. That is very helpful. Um, so yeah, I'm busy. It's busy anyway. Um, And I'm like kind of a perfectionist. I hate to say that because it makes things very difficult, but I kind of am a perfectionist. So it makes things very difficult for me and for my husband, really. But anyway, it's my personality. It's just who I am. So, April, yay, I didn't miss you. Good, good, good. Welcome, welcome. I'm looking for a slow cooker that has a time delay. Any suggestions? I don't know of any. I don't. I don't. And you have to be careful now with your time delays because you need to keep food safety in mind, right? Um, but we'll put that to the side. We won't go into that too much. But I don't know. I mean, there's like a new sous vide cooker, which is not sous vide, but it's a sous vide like little oven thing that I've seen. Um, that I think you can. delay cooking that, but it's not a slow cooker. I don't know what it does actually, so I'm not really sure. It's like a little, I don't know. I want to call it a robot oven. I don't know what it is. Um, but yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I mean, yes, I don't even know if I should say this out loud, but technically you could put a delay on your switch. So like you know how you would put delays on when your lights turn on. But I'm not an electrician and I don't know if it would be up to code or anything like that. So I'm really kind of nervous to even mention that. But anything could be put on a delay. You can set them, when to turn on, when to turn off. Everything can be done that way. So this is the age of technology. I'm sure you could probably even get something that's smart where you can just get onto your phone and have that outlet, you know, all of a sudden turn on or whatever adapter turn on. It turns on your slow cooker. But I don't know how safe it is, so I'm really nervous to say it out loud. But I just said it out loud live, so I'm going to stick with it. But food safety is an issue. You have to really make sure that you know what you're doing if you're going to delay your cooking process. Once you take something out of the freezer, you have a certain amount of time, or refrigerator. You have a certain amount of time to get food up to a certain degree. Some foods, it's a little bit looser of rules, if you will, because they're not high. Uh, what's the word I'm looking for? High risk. They're not high risk foods. Others are very high risk foods, and some of them will be really surprising. Like baked potatoes are very high risk foods. Okay, who would think, right? But yeah. So okay. Um, Jolene, so funny. Are you doing another class like you did the macarons? Because that was fun. It was fun. It was a learning experience for me. Um, I was an idiot for doing it before I even knew how to make macarons, but it forced me to learn how to make them. And I did have fun, and I loved everybody in the class, and everybody did such a good job, and it was fun. I love doing those things. I love them. So the answer is yes, but the answer is also I don't know when. I really want to do bread. I want to do a bread course. Not a course, but an interactive, fun type of thing. And I just haven't figured out what the best platform way to get us all together, the people that want to join, and have it be easy access. You remember Jolene in Kajabi in the community, it was difficult to find the lives. It just wasn't an instinctual experience. I did look into Kajabi has a branded app. So I guess I can share this now because I shut it down the other day. I was like, I can't even do this. Um, Kajabi has a branded app. So I actually enrolled to have their branded app, which means there would have been the salted pepper app, or I think I called it Simply Cooking app on your iPhone, on your Android phone. That would have then been a one click, yes, I want to join that. And then you would be able to access the class, and it could be a community environment, and we would do videos and blah, 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 blah. It sounded beautiful. Problem is, it didn't work right. So it just, the functionality wasn't there. So I just said, no, you guys aren't ready. You don't have what I need. The product is not ready yet for me, for what I need. So I want to do it. So, okay. Lorraine, I did hire somebody. It just wasn't her cup of tea. So, it's very detailed, a lot of moving parts. And even though I have tutorials on how to do it all, it's confusing. It's hard. It's hard work. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's hard work. She was very conscientious and she wanted to do a very good job. And it's just difficult. It's just difficult. So, okay. So, Penny, I made chocolate chip cookies the other day and they ended up thick. What did I do wrong? It's the same recipe I've used for years. That's interesting. If you've used the recipe before, you've made it before. So, was the batter thicker than normal? I mean, it sounds like they didn't spread, obviously, in the oven. Have you checked your oven temperature lately? Like, they can get off caliber. So, you might want to do that. Check your oven temperature. Make sure that it's still accurate. I'm trying to think of like like if an ingredient was old, how that might affect things. There's so many different little things that could have gone wrong. But look, I don't think you did anything wrong, Penny. I think just something went wrong. I see that question a lot. What did I do wrong? We don't always have to take responsibility for our cooking failures and what did I do? Because it may not have been you. Sometimes it's the recipe that's just a bad recipe. They're out there, trust me, they're out there. Even some of mine from years and years and years ago may not work as well as I thought, you know. Um, so it wouldn't be you going wrong, it would have been me doing something wrong. So yeah, so just everyone says, "What did I do wrong?" I don't like that. You didn't do anything wrong, per se, right? You might have skipped a step, you might have forgotten an ingredient, but it's not doing wrong when you learn, right? But as far as your chocolate chip cookies, man, there's a lot of things. Butter colder than normal. Um, oh, a lot of things. But I wouldn't get too held up on it. I would check your oven temp and then make them again. And if they don't spread again, um, then one of your ingredients must be off as far as either too old or something. Maybe somebody in the chat has got some other ideas. Um, okay, so Annie, how much would you charge to make a batch of a certain candy if somebody requested it? Um, I don't cook. I don't have a food license, so I can't make something for somebody um, and charge them for it. Like I can't legally do that. I can create recipes, but I don't have time. I don't have time to create recipes for money, for pay. Plus, it's a little tricky, doing that. But like, there's a lot of companies and ingredient people that would pay me to write recipes for them. I don't want that. I have enough to do. So yeah, but I can't. I'd love to. Now I could probably do it for free because I really do like making food and I really do like sending it out. And I could charge for postage, but yeah, I wouldn't be able to charge for the actual making of the candy. But let me know. Send me an email. You never know, right? Um, all right. Let's see. Wendy says keep expectations reasonable yet vet. Yeah, yeah, that's about hiring an assistant. And I had employees for a really long time, and I loved them. And I had some great ones. I had some not so great ones. And at one point in my nursing career, I had 18, I think 18 to 20 employees. So I'm used to it. I know what it is. Maybe this is just my baby, and I don't want to give up any control over it, but I'm going to go crazy if I don't. Who knows? But it's not. It's on me. It's nobody else's fault. It's me. I take full responsibility for anything that doesn't work out because, like I said, I'm difficult. I'm nice, but I'm difficult. I like things done a certain way. That's my husband. He could put something on one shelf of the refrigerator, and I will want it on another shelf. I mean, like silly stuff like that, right? I mean, not that that is a point of contention with us or anything. I'll just move it. But he puts things in the dishwasher a little bit differently than I do. I've learned to live with it for the most part, anyway. And by the way, I'm just drinking root beer. I don't want anyone to think I'm drinking alcohol. I'm getting drunk or something. I'm not. Um, Although cocktail sounds fine. I had a little piece of ice that came out, and so I need to break it up and get rid of it so I can still go. Um, oh, Jolene has a beautiful slow cooker that has a delay. Well, maybe can you pop the name of it, Jolene, if you're still here? Okay, let's see. Dean. Um, Thank you so much. Thanks for all the great recipes. I have made so many recipes and my family has enjoyed them all. That's awesome. Thank you so much. So George, that's backwards though. So a slow cooker with a keep warm function might be a better option. What she's talking about is a delay start, not a keep warm at the end. So the keep warm function only really happens at the end. You wouldn't necessarily want to keep warm in the beginning. That's actually going to be less safe food wise than no heat at all because you're going to bring it up just to this really ideal temperature for bacteria to grow. So what a delayed thing is when you put stuff into the slow cooker and you're able to set it to start in 2 hours. And that's because you don't want it to overcook while you're gone. Yeah. But again, you have to be careful with this. Okay. Um, Wendy says I have an Instant Pot Duo and 2 air fryers. I need help. um, like help because you have so many appliances, or help because you're not using them enough, Wendy? Huh? Um, okay, Wendy, let's talk about this. All right, I want chicken pot pie and ramekins. So do I. So I have been thinking about this for years and years and years because a chicken pot pie recipe would be very easy for me to do, right? Except for the fact that in all of the appliances, maybe except for the Ninja Combi, I might be able to get that to work. It is very difficult. Well, it's very difficult even in the oven. It's just difficult to get the perfect crust on the bottom of the pot pie with a wet filling like the chicken pot pie is, and then also have a good top crust. The top crust's not really the issue. It's the bottom crust. And I've tried so many different things, different types. There's like a crust called a mealy crust, which is supposed to hold up to not hot, but liquid fillings. So like pecan pies and pumpkin pies and things like that. It's not as buttery, so it's supposed to just do a better job. I've tried it. It doesn't work. I can't get the perfect balance. So if you want one of the best kind of chicken pot pie experiences, look up my recipe for chicken a la king in puff pastry shells, because you make like basically a chicken pot pie filling, which you could do a chicken pot pie filling. Then you put them in this puff pastry shell. Then you get crunch, crunch, crunch. Oh my gosh, it's so good. But I feel you, Wendy. I want that too. If anyone can figure it out, let me know, because I would love to do a recipe for a real pot pie that has a bottom crust and top crust. Top crust. Um, oh, I'm so sorry, Wendy. I'm so sorry. Um, I'm not gonna put that on the screen because I don't want it to be. Anyway, her dad died. I don't know how long ago, but her mom made gluten-free bread and it smelled like love. Yes, can imagine. I have never been successful with gluten-free bread, and I would like to do it because I know there's a lot of people with celiac and other issues, and they cannot have the wheat. And I would love to be able to make a gluten-free bread that smelled, tastes delicious. I'd really like to make a keto bread. I've never. Well, I do have keto bread sticks. They're pretty good. Um, all right, let's see. I think we're ready to wrap up here. Thanks, Jolene. I would join any class you teach. Thanks so much. That's awesome. We did have some good times in that class. All right. Watched a video the other day that highlighted why you should use weight in recipes rather than cup size. Boiled down to how compressed things like flour and sugar are. Very interesting to watch. Yes, I know, George. Yes, yes, yes. So this is my take on that. I agree. Weight is more accurate, but I'm not weighing everything that I cook with. Do you know how long it would take me to cook something? No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So with flour and sugar, really sugar, not so much an issue. Flour, very much an issue. You fluff your flour before you measure your flour. There's a certain way to measure flour by the cup. But I will never argue that weight measurements are more accurate than cup measurements. But I'm not stopping my cup measurements. I just give the weight measurements as well. So everybody's happy, right? But I can't weigh them. I can't do that. I would never cook. I would literally never cook if I had to sit there with the scale and weigh everything out. I would never do it. It would be ridiculous for me because I don't even care so much about measurements, right? In real life, I don't cook like that at all for anything. Not bread, not desserts, nothing. I don't care because I can tell by the batter, I can tell by the dough, I can tell, I know what it needs. I've been doing it for a really long time. So yeah, I'm not weighing anything. Jolene says I started weighing. Yeah, it's great. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Daniel says, found your channel today, made your buffalo chicken dip wontons. Oh my God, next level. Thanks for the idea. The wife loved them, and so did I. I'll be looking forward to more. Yay! Oh my gosh, you are the first person that has given feedback on that recipe. I don't know if you're still in the chat or not, but I would love to know if you made the buffalo chicken dip, my recipe, or if you made your own. Not that it matters. I'm just curious uh, if you made my recipe or not. And I'm so glad you liked them. Oh my goodness. Um, all right, let's see. Okay, so as far as the slow cooker that has a delayed release, it's called Beautiful by Drew Barrymore. I saw that Drew is now into appliance and stuff. That's a funny story too. Years ago, when I was younger, people used to tell me I look like her all the time. I don't necessarily agree, but people used to say that to me all the time. So yeah, good for her. I'm glad she's doing well. I don't know anything about her. I did meet one. She was the one that was on that TV show, the girls' school thing, right? I'm pretty sure there was another person that maybe I'm thinking of something else. I don't know. She was a little kid. I don't remember. Anyway, I met somebody on the Facts of Life. I did meet somebody from that show, but it wasn't her. All right, and that was years ago. They were in Annapolis for some reason. And she was nice. I'm not a movie star person. Like I don't really care who you are. Like it didn't matter to me then. I'm not starstruck at all. So it's like, okay, yeah, you're nice. Good. Have fun. I'll see you on the TV next time. All right. I know. I'm mouthing off. Just talking for no reason. I do that quite often. Oh, okay. It was aimed at the lady who had issues with her cookies. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. Right. Gotcha. Yeah. Definitely. So yeah, that could be like that's a good point, George. I wasn't even thinking. I wasn't like putting the cookie issue. It could be the moisture in your flour, Penny, was higher than normal, right? So you ended up having more flour in your batch, even though you were measuring it like what you would think would be the same. Good point, George. Thanks for keeping me on my toes. I wasn't even thinking that way. See how we process things differently? And I was like thinking, yeah, that's interesting, George, but I'm not measuring it. I'm not going to weigh everything. I can't cook like that. It never even occurred to me that he was helping somebody else out in the chat. See how that's why you have to be careful on Facebook and how you read things because it's not always clear, right? You don't know intent. You can't judge tone. Like you can judge my tone because I'm talking to you. So you can tell, like, I get a little bit more excited and a little bit more angry when I talk about things that upset me. You can tell in the way that I'm speaking that that does not make me happy, or that makes me very happy. You see my face, but when you're in just a text format, it can be very challenging to get your points across kindly, thoroughly, and not be a jerk about it. Or is somebody really being sarcastic? Or are they not being sarcastic? Like it's hard to judge those things. So we need to be careful. I think we all need to check ourselves a little bit when we're answering things and maybe not do that first knee jerk reaction. Think about it, step back a minute. That's what I do. You know, otherwise I'd be the worst person in that wood fire group because I'd be like, who do you think you are? No, 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 we don't do that. We don't do that. We just get rid of them. No point in arguing with them. They're jerks. Just get rid of them. Okay, I think I've said enough for today. I was going to talk about what I love and don't love about food blogging. We've been on here for quite a while though. But basically, what it is I love you guys and I love the interaction and I love the learning and I love the testing. I love the experiments. I love problem solving. I love deep diving into things. Like I could spend all day, every day in the kitchen figuring out how to make something work for somebody else because I get so much joy out of that. And that's how things started for me with the Ninja Foodie is I did some videos. People were interested, but they didn't really know how to use it. I didn't know how to use it either. It was new to me. But I know how to cook fairly decently, right? Like I've been doing it for so long. So I had that, but I didn't have the pressure cooker really experience, right? So I learned. I just learned. And I would be in the Facebook groups every single day. I would look at I had one group then. A one, I think. Maybe two. Maybe I had Simply Cooking and that one. That's it. Ninja Foodie 101 I had. And Simply Cooking. I would go in there every day. I would look to see what people were looking for, what their recipes were that they needed. I sometimes somebody would say, "How do you make this?" I said, "I'm not really sure, but I'll get back to you in about 45 minutes because I'm going to go make it right now." And that's exactly what I would do. And then I would come back and I would tell her how to make it. And I kept doing it and I loved it. I loved it. It was so much fun for me. Um, and that's what I still love doing. I still love creating recipes. I still love interacting with people. I, well, some people I don't like interacting with at all, but most people I do. Um, and so I love all those things about food blogging. Like it is so amazing. What I don't love is the sarcastic people that are assuming something of me or of others when they have no basis in that. And it's only because they're miserable people that they think this way. Like anybody that thinks that I'm a salesperson or I'm trying to get your money or I want you to do this or that, they don't know me at all. Like not even a bit. You know, I make a decent living from what I do because I'm good at it and because advertisers advertise on my website, because people read my recipes, because people print my recipes. You know, people want to support me. Like I do very well at my job, but that's because I'm good at my job. And my first goal is never to sell. I don't care about selling to anybody. I don't. If I wanted to be a salesperson, I would go to a car dealership or something, and I would sell cars or something like that. It'd be a hell of a lot easier. I don't want that. I want to interact with you. I want to learn new things, share them with you. I want to get inspiration from you, and I'm just trying to figure out like the best ways to do that. So I don't know what's going to happen in 2025. I don't have any big plans. Things are pretty much status quo, but yeah, I might close some Facebook groups that are not serving me or people, right? They're not helpful to me or anyone else. They're just a sounding board for some jerks that I don't want to even hear from. So, yeah, I might do that. I don't know. So, we'll see. But I really want to tell you guys how much I appreciate you, each and every one of you. I mean, like, I've gotten to know you over the years or months, some people are new. And I've just so incredibly lucky as a human being to be able to do what I love for a living, meet some of the nicest people that I've ever met in my entire life, and have such great conversations with people. That that's what lights me up, right? So thank you for being here for another Q&A. I know these are not really Q&As. I know they're just talks, chats, whatever. Sometimes we have rapid fire questions. Sometimes it's more like tonight, where it's just me going on and on and on and interacting. But you know what? I had fun tonight. I hope you did too. And I appreciate your time. I know they're so long, an hour and a half. Who wants to spend an hour and a half? It's like we're on a phone call, right? For an hour and a half, we're on the telephone. But I love it. So I'm going to keep doing it. That people can keep telling me I talk too much on my YouTube videos. I'm not really changing. Oh, one last thing. I'm trying. I did 2 videos for the Possible Pro Cooker. I did short videos. So they're like 3 minutes, but they're easy things. They're easy. Oh, I'm sorry, they're not. They're not. One is in the Possible Pro Cooker, one is on the stove. They're really easy videos, and they were 10,000 times harder for me to do. I told Jeff it has to be a 3-minute video, no more. Well, it could be 3 to 5 minutes, I said. 3 to 5 minutes, tops. Because I want to put them on Facebook and stuff. But people, I want to do the shorter form because that's what people want, because everyone's so busy, and I get it. And that's hard to do because I'm a teacher at heart. Like, I want to teach you. I want to talk to you. I want to invite you into my kitchen. I want you to cook with me, right? Those short videos are hard. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do them. They take me too long. They take me longer. It took me longer to shoot a short video than it does a long video. I'm like, oh, I don't know, Jeff. But we're going to try it. So you're going to see a few short videos come out from me. Let me know what you think. It's just different. We'll see. All right. Thank you, April, so much. Um, well, there you go. I mean, that warms my heart. I'm like a little crybaby, but that warms my heart. Thank you, April, for sharing that. It makes everything worth it, right? Okay, George, I'm not doing shorts. I'm not a fan of them either, but I'm not doing shorts. These are shorter videos. That's why I said, Jeff, they have to be over a minute because if they're a minute and I put them on YouTube, they go into the shorts category. They have to be over a minute. And for YouTube, they have to be horizontal. I'm not doing vertical on YouTube. I think it looks horrible. I'm not doing that. So they're horizontal on YouTube. And this is another thing. Jeff's got to figure all this out. They're horizontal on YouTube, but they're vertical on Facebook. There's a lot to this, guys. There's a lot. Um, Simon, thank you so much. You have a wonderful day, a wonderful night. I'm going to be, I guess, drying my eye tears here now from April's message because, um, as a nurse and running an assisted living, I know how hard it is sometimes to get people with dementia to eat. Um, so that means a lot. That means a lot to me, and I appreciate it. I don't know why I'm such a crybaby. I'm very sensitive person actually. I might come across like I'm not, but I really actually am. Especially with things like that. Like that Folgers commercial from years and years ago. And I'm talking years and years ago, where they're making coffee and then I don't know. I think it was like Christmas and maybe a kid comes downstairs or comes home from college. Oh my gosh! Every time I see that, I'm just like crying because it's just a moment of happiness in somebody's life, and I'm like, oh, I'm sharing it, even though I'm not. It's a commercial for Folgers. Okay, I'm an idiot. I know you guys can tell me. It's not bourbon in here either. I'm telling you, it's straight. Oh my gosh. Um. Oh, April, it's okay. Everybody makes me cry when they tell me nice things. They don't make me cry so much when they tell me mean things. I will tell you that when somebody's mean to me, I all of a sudden get like I don't know, like it doesn't make me upset. It makes me mad at the world that they're so angry of a person that they would want to come and attack me. They don't know me. Um, and so yeah, so I don't get upset about that. I don't want anyone to think that like a mean comment makes me cry because it doesn't. It makes me mad, and it makes me mad not for me but for really the whole world and the way the world is these days. So it makes me mad. That's it. Okay. All right. Um, yeah, George, you're right. There's nothing wrong with showing emotions, but that just kind of, I don't know, it must, sometimes things just hit you, and that just hit me because I understand, April, that to somebody else, oh, so what? Your mom ate oatmeal and she's, has dementia. So what? But for me, I get it. And that, yeah, that's important to me. So anyway, yeah, I get fired up when somebody's rude. I get fired up um, in a big way. I don't like bullies. Never did. In fact, I'll tell you a funny story. We're still here. You're learning more about me. I got suspended from high school one time. That's the true story. You're gonna think I'm like a violent. I'm not violent, but we were in science class, and there was a guy, and he was kind of a big guy, and I've always been a bigger girl, so I'm short, but I've always been a bigger girl. So like you can't blow me over or, fuck me over. Like I'm solid, right? Um, so there was this little kid, and he was kind of a scrawny kid, and he was kind of like what we would consider a nerdy kid in high school. Nice as hell though, nice, nice. And we were gonna dissect a frog or something. And we were in science class, and then there was a football player kind of type, a jockey jerk, basically. And I'm not stereotyping, okay, because not all people that play sports are jerks. I get that, but just like a beefy guy, right? And he was picking on this little kid so bad during the class, and I couldn't do much in the class, right? Except kind of help the littler kid, like just kind of get run interference or just whatever. But when we got out of that class, I went up to that guy. We were down by the principal's office, because that was where the entrance is. And I threw him up against the wall. I told him, I said, if you ever act like that again with that kid and you embarrass him and you bully him, I'm going to have a real problem with you. I would literally throw him against the wall because, you know, ugh, right? Well, I got suspended. But you know what? I didn't care. I thought, nope, you're not doing that. You're not getting away with that. Because he did it kind of sneaky. You know, it wasn't like blatant. It's kind of sneaky, like somebody who comes up and like pulls your hair or something like that. That kind of a person. I have no tolerance for that whatsoever. Okay. I think I've gone on enough now. All right. Colleen, I was not crying because somebody was mean to me. I wasn't. I was crying because somebody was very nice to me and very complimentary of me. So I want to make sure I'm clear on that. Anyway, so yeah, not often, not George. Well, you know me. I'm an open book. I'll tell you anything. I don't know. Okay, so I think we're good now. Now, fruit crumble using jam recipe. Jolene, are you asking me for one? Fruit crumble using jam. I'm trying to think if I have something like that. I don't know. I'll have to look. I'm not sure. And April, I agree. I hate to mention all Alzheimer's. It is, and the person who has it, depending on what stage they're in, because I watched my mother-in-law go through Alzheimer's. Depending on what stage they're in, in the later stages, they don't know. So that's a blessing. They don't know. If they did, they wouldn't be happy, you know. Um, but it's all of their family and the friends and stuff. It's very, very, very hard to watch, for sure. Okay, Jolene, I think I do. You know, it's going to be with homemade jam, but you can use any kind of jam. I thought I did, but I'm not sure if I have anything like that. That's a good idea, though, for dessert. I'm going to have to look on my website. Shoot me an email, Jolene, when you have a chance, and remind me. I swear I do have something. You know what? I have a pumpkin crumble, but that's different. So, anyway, all right. I'm going to let you guys go. I know there's a bunch of people that are still here. I appreciate you so much. And see, all the good stuff happens at the end. Well, I don't know if it's good stuff or not, but all the stuff happens at the end of these videos. Like, it's where we're just winding down. So just stick around. Sometimes you learn something because a lot of good discussions have happened at the end of the video. And then sometimes you learn something about me. Sometimes you see me cry. Sometimes you see me get mad. All the stuff happens at the end, right? Um, oh, thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, Bonnie. Bonnie's sitting watching her on my TV, crocheting, and I'm her Tuesday evening entertainment. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Oh gosh. Well, George, for a reason I don't understand, can't help feeling like this is a very special ending. Well, I hope it's not an ending in the sense of ending anything. Like I hope I wake up tomorrow. But good Lord, we don't know. We don't know. So hey, you know what? If I don't for some reason, I'm not wishing that, of course, but if I don't believe it, I love you guys. And it has been a wild, wild time for the last 5 years, and it is, I'm living my dream life. Really, my dream life with my dogs and stuff. George just clarified, he said to this episode, yeah, not to life, not to my work. I hope everything's good tomorrow. We'll be fine. Um, Oh my gosh. Jolene says I watched Jennifer Maker this past weekend for 9 hours for 3 days, and she was teaching me how to craft. Wow. Wow. That is a long time. That's a lot of commitment. A lot of commitment. But learning things is fun, right? So when we're interested in things, we can watch them a little bit longer than when we're not interested in them. So I appreciate all the people that stuck around to the very, very end of this. I love you guys, and I will see you on Tuesday next week for Tasty Tuesdays. And that'll be with me and Jeff, and we'll be cooking. And I hope I feel better than I did last week. Oh, and by the way, that dish I made on Tasty Tuesday last week was phenomenal. It was so good. I know I didn't really eat it live because I really wasn't feeling good. But man, it was good. I don't know if it's technically Mongolian beef, but it was delicious. So I'm definitely going to work on that recipe. All right. Good night, everybody. Have a great night, and I will see you next week. And of course, we'll have the cooking on Sunday with you guys joining for the new video, which is going to be the pumpkin bread pudding in the Ninja Possible Cooker Pro. What a mouthful for that one. All right. Bye. I'm trying to end it. It won't. It won't end. It won't stop. I have this problem a lot. It will not end. And that means that I just need to say another good night. It wasn't ready to stop. I don't know why it will not end.